I am not conventionally attractive. And obviously, looking at me, you can tell that I'm not. I'm somebody's type, right? I not not 9 times out of 10 people would not call me attractive, but those very few people who would have a type that I am. Bigger guys. I'm 6 foot tall. I have a dad bod. I have curly hair, and I dress nice. And people people eat with their eyes first, right? That's a saying that I've heard across the food industry, music industry, a lot of these industries, and it holds up. It's true. It's true for most of everything, right? If people go to a fancy restaurant and they pay $75 for a steak, and all they get is just a white plate with slap steak just slapped right on top of it, there's juice flowing everywhere, and it looks messy. It's not gonna it's not going to appear to be appetizing. Sure, it's $75. Sure, it may be a really good source of steak, but if the first impression of me looking at this steak is not good, I don't want to eat it anymore. And the same is true for people, for attractiveness in people. And, there are things that I can do to make myself more attractive. I feel like I've hit pretty much all the bases that I can do except for lose weight. Right. And losing weight has been such a big problem for me. And I know a lot of you are just going to be like, well, just do it. It's as simple as just doing it. And I get that. I've hopped on the gym train and eating healthy, but I've always seemed to manage to fall off of it. And I'm not really sure as to why or how that happens. I have a sneaking suspicion that it's my ADHD. And if I don't get an immediate reward after completing a task, it's not going to be something that I enjoy doing, right? Like, I love to make music. And when I sit down and I make music, I can sit down and hyper focus on it. And 4 or 5 hours later, I can get a pretty good sounding demo. And that's my reward. And I feel good about it. But with this losing weight thing and eating healthier, it's just a little more difficult for me to stay consistent with it. And even as simple as brushing my teeth, not everything that I do needs a reward. Like, for instance, brushing my teeth, right? I brush my teeth, not as much as I should. I brush at least once a day, and if I don't brush for one day, I'm right back on it the next day, right? Because of whatever happened. I take care of my teeth for the most part, but there's not an immediate reward after doing it. Yeah, my mouth feels nice. It doesn't feel gross, but that's not something that really stands out to me. And I'm kind of drawing that comparison because the only thing that I have left to do is to lose weight, but that's such a big hurdle for me to jump over. And I feel like it's holding me back exponentially. Yeah, I smell good. My hair looks good. I dress nice, but that's not the first thing that people are going to see about me. That'll be the second or third. The first thing that they're going to see about me is how my body is shaped and what my face looks like, mainly my face. People's first impressions, as soon as I meet a new person, I immediately look at their face and I take a snapshot in my mind. Okay, this is what this person looks like, right? And I'm not the type of person to look at somebody and go, oh, they're ugly. Nobody really does that, right? Unless you're like super duper full of yourself, which I'll get to in a minute. I don't look at people and go, wow, they're ugly. I look at people, I take a snapshot of their face, and if they are really pretty, I'll think to myself, wow, this person is extremely pretty. But it never pops up into my head, wow, they're really ugly. Then that never happens for me, ever. But it appears to other people in my generation, right? And people eat with their eyes first. I've said it a couple times, right? People will treat me differently based on how I look, right? I was at the mall the other day, and I went up to this guy, and he had really cool shoes on. I said, "Hey, I really like your shoes. Those shoes are really, really nice." And he looks at me like this. He doesn't even look me straight in the eyes. He does this. He eyes me up and down and decides that he's going to treat me based on how I look. And I feel like that's a Gen Z type of thing, because I've never been in a situation where an adult or a child has done that to me. You know, well, I am an adult, but like, I mean, adults older than me in different generations, like millennials and boomers, and they don't really do that. And I think social media has something to do with that, because like, let's say for instance, we're getting into incel territory right now, but I just want to say I'm not in an incel. I yearn for love, and I think every woman is beautiful, every man is beautiful. But um sorry, I lost track of what I was saying. um I yes, I think every man and woman is beautiful, right? And social media, you see these beautiful people on social media, right? They get attention from so many people, right? And it's just on their phone, but that doesn't really have to do with anything. I have unmedicated severe ADHD, so I hop to topics, and it takes a lot for me to sit down and speak about a coherent thought or topic for me. But these people on social media that are super beautiful, conventionally attractive, uh, they get a lot of attention, right? They get thousands of likes, hundreds of thousands of likes, thousands of comments saying, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful," blah blah blah. Right? I see it on TikTok too. I follow a bunch of my friends on my TikTok, and the friends that I have that are women, some of them post themselves, like if the outfit that they have on is really nice and they think that it's really nice, they'll make a video of it. And they're just lip syncing to a song, maybe dancing around a little bit. And under the comments, it's all it's all their girlfriends saying, "You're so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I want you so bad." Yada yada yada. But the same can't be said for men, right? Women, they love complimenting each other, and I think that's amazing. But men don't get that. Anyways, that's besides the point. And we see these women get so much attention on social media, and if you're really a fan of them, like, I was watching a podcast today with Pokimane and Lily Pichu in it, and I like Offline TV. They're one of my favorite group creators of all time, and I enjoy watching their content. And I really enjoy watching Lily Pichu and Pokimane's podcast. And Pokimane asked Disguised Toast if, or no, Lily Pichu asked Michael Reeves if he had any weird fan encounters, and he was like, "Yeah, some, but nothing too crazy." And and I don't really remember, but Pokimane had said something about how, or maybe it was Lily Pichu, um about how these really creepy men start doing things, and Pokimane has to go out of her way to tell people to, if like, do not come up to me if your intentions are anything further than just taking a picture and going about your day. She said something along the lines of that. I don't know exactly, but that's how it came across to me. I was building a shelf that I just set up over there while listening to it, but I wasn't really paying attention to what they said, so don't fact check me on it. But we have to see these women and men that we put on pedestals talk down to the people who are creepy towards them, rightfully so, by the way. I'm not trying to say that behavior is okay, but and it seems like any woman or man that thinks that they themselves are attractive, they seem to act nonchalant. And what I mean by nonchalant is, like, they just they convey themselves like they don't care about anything at all, and it's just really boring. It is such a hassle and to talk to these type of people, because it's so draining. Like, I'm on dating apps, right? And I matched with this girl on Hinge. And on her profile, it says that she has a cat. And I said, "Oh my gosh, I love cats. What's your cat's name?" And she said, "Haha, my cat's name is Socks. I love him so much." And I was like, "Oh wow, that's so cool. I used to have two cats named Pabu and Naga." And all she said was, "Cool." One word. Nothing to add to the conversation, nothing of value, no open-ended question. And maybe I'm just in my own mind, maybe it's something I did to warrant that, but I'm not too sure, cuz the way I see it in my eyes is, this was going to be the start of a conversation. But all you replied was, "Cool." I'm not going to pick up the weight if you're not going to apply yourself. Like, we're on a dating app to meet people, right? To go on dates and potentially start dating somebody, right? And she matched with me obviously because she thought I was attractive, right? And as soon as we start having a conversation, it plummets. And I can't deal with these nonchalant people. It physically drains me. I don't want to have a conversation with you if you're not going to apply yourself. So that's what that's why I think social media has something to play for it. And it's just romance in the day and age of modern social media is it's changed, and Gen Z has had such a huge role to play in online social media, right? The millennials, they were kind of like the stepping stones. They built the foundation. Gen Z took it and ran with it, right? There's so many Gen Z creators or musicians. A lot of Gen Z is in the creative industry, myself included. And a lot of it has changed the way the world works. Like that's something that you can't not that you can't disagree with. And back in the day, people wrote like love letters and stuff, and waited weeks for reply. But but now I could text somebody, and if they don't reply within the next 30 minutes, then they're immediately out of my mind. Like, I don't want them anymore. And it's such a crazy thing to think that way and feel that way, and I don't like it, and I wish it was different, but that's just how it has to be for now. And like we've lost patience for the slow burn, for like the kind of love that takes time to build, right? I've done it myself. I 2 or a year ago, my senior year of high school, I dated this girl, and she was amazing. We did everything together, and we were just such big parts of each other's lives, and we did a lot of things together. It wasn't just this is my girlfriend, this is my boyfriend. We do girlfriend and boyfriend things. Like we were more than that. We would go out and just do a bunch of cool shit. Or if we stayed at home, then we would just it was like dating a best friend, right? It was very healthy and it was amazing. And I messed up, right? I started to realize that I fell out of love, and I didn't actually fall out of love. I just thought I did, right? And I don't know why this is. I like to blame social media, but realistically, it's probably an internalized issue that I just project so that I don't have to self-actualize and build upon it, and work on it. But I would get bored of her, and I started to pull myself away from her, and the things she did started to annoy me a little bit, and the stuff that we used to do together that I would really enjoy, I just found no enjoyment in it anymore. And now looking back, I realized that the relationship was leaving its honeymoon phase, and it was now becoming casual and life. And I confused that with falling out of love, because once I actually had lost her, I realized that I didn't fall out of love. I loved her, and I still, I don't love her now, but I do care for her, and I wish her the best. But she's a different person now. Like, she's with somebody new. And that's fine, right? I've come to terms with it. I haven't necessarily moved on. I've moved on from her as a person, but I really hold the things that we used to do together very dear to my heart. And even if I didn't make it known to her at the time, I beat myself up every single day knowing that I can't apologize to her. Because, I still have her number. We don't have each other blocked, but she's with somebody and it's not my place to text her. It's not okay for me to do that. But anyways, right, we would do these relationship type of things, and it was just so peaceful and bliss, and it was such a nice, like, it was different, right? And that is what I yearn for, right? Because we started dating, but we weren't immediately saying I love you, right? Like a typical high school relationship. Like I took her on a date, and we were like 3 dates in, maybe 2. I don't remember, but it took a while for me to ask her to be my girlfriend, right? It was like a month and a half, considerably longer than how a typical high school relationship would go. And this was like in 2023 is when we started dating, and I ended things around May of last year. And uh, in hindsight, it was a mistake, and it always had been. At the time, I didn't feel like it was. At the time, I thought, oh, I could do so much better. But I realized once I actually had lost her, once she moved on from me and she was on to the next person, that's when everything kind of hit home for me. And that's when I realized I needed to change. And I haven't dated someone since. It's been over a year since I've been in a relationship. She was my last relationship. Coming up on a year. January, February, March, April, May. Like 8 months, 9 months, right? And I feel like that's a long time. And maybe it's not, but for me and the people that I see around me, that's a long time. And I can't help but think I'm plateauing, I try and work on these things to make me become a better person, but I end up just reverting back to my same old self. And at the end of the day, I know what I bring to the table. I'm charismatic. I can be very, very loving. I'm not trying to be a pick me here, because I know that's what it sounds like, but I'm not. I know the type of person I am. I can't really identify my problems just yet. At least not the deep internalized ones. But I might not be conventionally attractive, but I am funny in the right circumstances. Like when I'm feeling good and I have somebody to bounce off of, I can be really funny at times. And I have depth, and I actually care. I'm not the type of guy to sit there and wait for you to finish talking just so that I can say something, or if you're explaining your problems to me, I'm not, I'm actually going to listen. I'm going to help you work through these emotions that you're having. And honestly, I'd rather be wanted for who I am than how I look. But unfortunately, that's just not the type of world that we live in. And if I want to be with somebody that I find attractive and that I could love for the rest of my life, I need to become attractive. I need, not necessarily conventionally attractive, but more broad attractive. Like any one person could look at me and go, oh yeah, he's handsome, but he's not my type. That would be okay. But I feel like people now, or not people now, but me as I am right now, if I were to ask any random person, let's say I ask 100 people, probably only 20 would find me attractive. And, and I feel like that's a believable ratio, but that's seeing people in public. That is IRL, right? If I were to ask 100 people on social media, they'd almost all of them say no. And what I've noticed is that the type of people that usually find me attractive are the ones that aren't on social media, right? I went on a date with this girl 2 or 3 months ago. Her name was Alana, and we both went to high school together. And she was perfect. She was everything that I was looking for in a partner. And even the small, tiny specifications that really stick out to me, she got those just right. And I don't know what happened. She cut it off, and she gave me a really blanket statement, and I couldn't really understand why. But I just chose not to really like dig into it further, because if she doesn't want it right now, then that's okay. I can move on. Like, we only went on one date. It's not the end of the world. But I've noticed that these people that find me attractive they're not on social media. They don't concern themselves with social media. And I think that means that I'm ugly. So, because they have nothing, they have nobody to really compare me to. They're not seeing these 15 out of 10 men every single day on social media, right? So their standards aren't crazy high like the people who are on social media. And I don't know. Like, I look at my brother and I look at my sister, and I would say that they are very good looking people. And then I look at myself in the mirror and I think to myself, why am I not like them? They both have style. They both take care of themselves. I have style. I take care of myself. But the one thing that I can't get right, which is my weight, is what seems to be what deters people the most. Anyways, if you saw this video, thank you for watching. If you saw it all the way through, thank you. I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to use this YouTube channel as like a sort of venting place for myself, and also as a way to really not become nervous when I'm talking, and to also get better at talking and conveying stories, because I was very all over the place for this video, and I want to get better at that. And also, when I'm nervous, my voice starts to shake and I stutter a lot. And I want to try and work on that and get better at that. So this is what it's going to be. This is what the YouTube channel is going to help me do. And I just find it fun sitting here and talking about things that I want to talk about. But anyways, this video is getting too long. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I will try and post more videos. I don't know if I will, but I just needed to come out and vent, because I don't really have very many friends right now. I have two friends, Sean and Timmy, but Timmy's doing his own thing, and Sean works a lot, so I don't get to see either of them too much. The person that I hang out with the most is my sister right now. But yeah, thank you for watching. And this will just be a channel where I vent and rant about anything that concerns me. So thank you so much, and have a good one.